It's okay. We'll make it work, right? We always do. So anyway, sorry I'm late. We had a little bit of a busy weekend, and I am just tired, and I'm sore, and I'm having trouble moving today. It's just one of those days, but I figured I'd bring you out here because we are expecting rain over the next 2 days, and the leaves are, of course, are changing, and then it's a little windy out here, guys, just a little bit. Hopefully I need to get one of those things that you put on so that you can, like, the weights you put on, like the round weights, that it has some weight to it. I didn't know it was this windy outside. So, anyway, it's because this will be useless to crochet with, right? You're like, hey, I'm holding the camera the entire time. We'll see. We'll see. I may have to figure something out for a minute. Anyway, because of the rain, it'll be useless to kind of think about crocheting, or not crocheting, being out here. Where there's a will, there's a way. Hello. Hi, Sandy. It is really unexpectedly windy. So I'm trying to figure out how to keep this blowing over. I don't know yet. My little stand, we'll figure it out anyway. The leaves are changing. See, there's a big hole right there. I have to figure something out. Don't know what yet. Hi, Anfield. Alright, we'll figure this out in a minute. There's something. Let's see if I can put it. Let's see if I stick. Put this basket in front. You'll have to give me a minute, guys, while you improvise here. It's windy. The computer is still kind of in the, I'll explain that in a minute. What's kind of going on with that whole thing. Hold on a second. I'm trying to get this to stay. Figure out a way. I'll explain all that in a second. I didn't expect it to be this windy at all. Yarn a mess, that is for sure right now. Hold on a second. I've got to explain it all in a second, because then I can get the comments, but I can't get the computer up, well, my laptop up, my Chromebook up, I should say, until I figure this whole mess out. Hi, Michael's Adventures. I'm trying to separate this because this is another blanket I'm working on. And I'm trying to set up something so that the camera is not going to go. It's very, very windy out. Hi, Bud Files. So I thought, and we're supposed to expect rain tomorrow. So I thought, well, with that being said, let me go out today and do a connect and grow. Now, I would have come out later tonight, but I think I finally got it. A little bit of crochet ingenuity here. I'm going to be on, I think that'll work. That'll stop the wind from coming at it. I'm going to be on Big Jack Storytime, Battle of the Sexes. He has different male and female, and then he has something. So I think this is going to work. You can see what I'm having to do with this whole thing. Oh my goodness. Oh, turn this way. Or you can see the fall leaves. That's the point of coming out here with all this one. I think we got it. And I put this kind of here, maybe solve the problem. What I did was I had the other blanket and I put it behind here so I can hope that it'll brace some of the wind. So, and I'm having to put finger like up. The wind is what is just really, really going today. Whew. So, I'm thinking with the rain incoming, of course we won't be able to come live out here. I could go in the bedroom and do it. But I'm probably going to take the next... Guys, it's pushing the cart by itself. The cart, it just moved on its own by itself. I'm going to have to get those weights. They have them for stuff. Whew. And our prayers certainly go out to everybody that is dealing with the storm in Jamaica. I was on Ryan Hall, y'all, a little bit before I came out here, and he said, yeah, this is Hurricane AMSR. And I'm like, yeah, that does not, because of dealing with past hurricanes, that does not tickle my fancy one iota to listen to it. It was interesting to watch, but it's not something that totally gets me. Like, it's something I can fall asleep to. I'm awake. So I think between everything I'm using my laptop and bottled water and a crochet thing, I think we may have got it. So, anyway, I know that recaps did not come out last night. We had Saturday we got up, we went to the Matthew 25 project. So we were up like at 5 o'clock in the morning, y'all, going to that and getting food for us and getting food for another couple that is elderly. So we got up about 5 o'clock in the morning and went to that, and were in line for a good chunk of time. And then we came home and we had church the next day, and then we had luncheon at church afterwards. And so, of course, I don't do well when I got to get up and just go. My body doesn't do that well, and I need some time for the old engine to warm up over here. So with that being said, we got up and we went to church and we came home, and just a little tuckered from all that between the 2 days. And then yesterday, my son-in-law lost a close member of the family, so they had a service yesterday. And it was about an hour and a half's drive from where we live, but we wanted to go support my daughter and my son-in-law and their family, so we went to that. And I literally came home and crashed. Hi, Cruising Life, how you doing? I literally came home and just absolutely crashed. I was just exhausted. And I got up, I slept went to sleep about 3:30, and I slept for 2 hours, woke up at 6:30, and had something to eat, had my tea. I go flow, had my tea, and literally by 10 o'clock, I was in bed again. I just was exhausted and tired. I actually had a little bit of an upset tummy from it, and I thought, I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to sleep for as long as this body will allow me to sleep. And that's exactly what I did. And then Josh woke up about 4:30 in the morning with a crash, so I had to go get him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I thought about putting together, I'd already put together the quote for today, the other day, and I thought, you know what, we'll put out, they'll get out, the recaps either get out tonight or tomorrow. And I said, I'm going to go to sleep, and I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to sleep for as long as I can. That's exactly what I did. I fell asleep at 10. I didn't woke up. I woke up throughout the night, but I kept going back to sleep, and then I woke up like at 9 o'clock this morning. I was that tired. And I just woke up this morning. I said, I've had 3 days of having to get up and just go. Coffee, my crochet hook. That's exactly what I did. I just crocheted most of the day away. I didn't feel like going on the computer or anything. So I just really just took the morning for myself. I knew everybody would understand. I've kind of said to myself, I'm going to do the best I can to get caught up. But I don't think I'll ever totally get caught up, and that's okay. We're trying to get caught up and be on track, but we also are dealing with somebody that is, of course, dealing with chronic illness. So, it is what it is, and I've had to say to myself, okay, I know you want to push and you want to get caught up with devotions and all that kind of stuff and everything, but I have to also listen to this body and say, okay, if I'm struggling and I'm tired, that's not going to serve anybody if I'm trying to push through it. So, I mean, I cannot believe the wind. Oh my goodness. Woo. We're going to have this winter's going to be a doozy, guys. So, just lift my son-in-law's family up in your prayers. Lovely service yesterday, but it's somebody close to them, and so we wanted to go and support and do that. That's exactly what we did. We were there for our church, his parents and my daughter and my son-in-law, and I got to meet the individual at one point, and they could not have been, they couldn't really have been nicer. They were so nice and just absolutely, just couldn't have been nicer when I met them at the wedding. So it was very nice that we were able to go. So that's kind of what's been going on, and that's kind of why, I don't normally fall asleep in the car. Like I'm on top of Mount G's. Oh my good. Y'all haven't seen Mount G's when we were up there. My goodness gracious. And the crazy thing is, I saw the weather before we came out here. I thought it's only 51 degrees. I don't need I've got a blanket. Snowman on it, of course. I don't need to dress. I've got pants on. I'll be just fine. Ooh-wee. So I don't normally get sleepy in the car, but I literally, my mom was driving, and I literally was falling asleep in the car. I was just like, I gotta stay awake, because my mother and I were both tired, and I was just like, okay, because we had to be up by, by 6:45 in the morning. Well, the wind certainly feels like it's going more than 16 miles an hour. My goodness gracious. See, like I said, it was 55 degrees, the sun's out. We should be fine. Didn't know there was going to be a wind coming from the north. We had to be up at 6:30 in the morning, and we had to be up at 6:30 and out the door by 7. So, my mom got up about 6 o'clock, so, I was just like, I came home and crashed. Want to grab a comforter. I didn't think it was going to be this windy. I came out here and I thought, okay, we're going to be in the sunshade. I almost thought, I don't even think I need a jacket and a hat and gloves today. Good night. So, anyway, surprising me, that's for sure. I had to put the hat up because I'm like, I'm glad I got the jacket, but my goodness. So anyway. Oh, you're loving the sound of the wind. Good. So it's been a busy past 3 days, and um, that's why we just I haven't done much, and I feel bad because we're behind, and a lot of stuff happened since Patty's passing and everything. And I just said to myself on the way here, walk into this little spot, I said, Mary, you're going to just do the best you can, and if you're behind, you're behind. We guys are only 43 away from 2K, and I know we'll get there. We're building an audience, not a community. If anybody can share us out, I'd appreciate it tremendously. We're trying real hard to get there because we very much want to reach that goal, especially by the end of the year. That is something certainly we are trying to do. Now, Christina is only, the last time I looked, 27 away from 2K. This is her channel. So if you're not connected with it, with this one, please do. Once we get the computer up and running, we are going to start back with Blessings Through Connection, unless I can get Blessings Through Connection, unless it doesn't rain. Maybe Friday I can. I don't think I'll get it to today, but yes, we're literally 43 away from 2K. Christina's 27 away from 2K. So if you're not connected with her channel, Christy's Cosplay Wardrobe, because then once we get the computer up and running, then we can start with hers, kind of doing some, relaxing streams to start building up her hours and get her partially monetized. But any support with either one of those would be appreciative. Remember that Gail's Southern Living outside right and locked. Oh, I'm sure that's beautiful, Sandy. Remember on Friday is the Gail's Southern Living. Even if you did not become a semi-finalist, you can still participate in door prizes and all that if you did. So I know I'm behind on comments. I know I'm behind on shorts and recaps and all that. But I know you all are understanding. But we just had a super busy week. And of course, just, I just felt such a pull to be there for, I said I was going to the service to support my son-in-law and his family and my daughter. So I was very glad that I was able to be there for them during this difficult time. So anyway, that's kind of what's been going on. Oh my goodness. I wonder if I could get one of those things that can tell you what the wind speed is. My goodness, them gusts coming through certainly don't feel like just 15 miles an hour. Oh, you do with the best that you can with what you have, and you do the best with the energy level you have. And so I'm trying. I really want to get to the 2K mark, and I'm trying, and yeah. I'm watching the thing going. I think it's going to be okay, maybe. Hi, Nancy. We're having a little bit of an unexpected windy day, but it's 100% of rain coming for Thursday and rain coming tomorrow. So when the cart moves all by itself, it should tell you how much it is. But I just sat there thinking to myself, you know what? All I want to do is crochet. And that's exactly what I did this morning. I'm putting this on. I'm telling you. Whew, that'll help brace from the side. Keep me warm. Because it's only 51 degrees, but the temperature, that's the problem. Or the wind. God, Mother had these little gloves. So, we are working on, we've got the lighthouse, and we are working on that one. But I had a project that was time sensitive for working on it for. I've got to get done. And this is the yellow I have for the lighthouse. You don't need much of it for the lighthouse on the top. I'm not a yellow girl. It's lemon ice for the top of the, good thing I've got an extra one of these because I need this for another project I'm working on. So whatever I don't finish, it's going for that one. But this is the yellow I'm choosing for the little light we need in the lighthouse. Is this one. I had that, and I actually am going to need that for indigo. That's good. Oh my goodness gracious, guys. I hope you're enjoying the wonderful wind sounds. I cannot believe the wind. I cannot believe it. So, this is how far. You can put hashtag blessed in the chat if you'd like people to connect with your channel. This is how far we've gotten with the blanket we're currently working on. It's just the one color. And this, of course, this is the bottom. So the blue is a pattern, and then I worked off somebody in our church that needed it done by a certain time. So, well, thank you. I'm going to be on Big Jack's story time tonight, so I couldn't come out later today and work on anything. And I have just been, there's a saying, Scottish saying actually, it's called hurkling durkling. And literally, that is what I've been doing today. I was telling everybody, we had, we were up early with the Matthew 25 project to pick up food for ourselves and another person that we get food for, and early for that on Saturday, and then Sunday was church, and then we had a luncheon afterwards, and then we had to get up because my son-in-law had a loss in his family, so they had a service for that person yesterday. So we had to be up like 6:30 in the morning for that. So, and it was an hour and a half drive to where the place was. We wanted to be there to support the family and my son and my daughter, and so it's been a busy. I don't handle that well with my pain level. It's just, I do pretty good as long as I can get up and I can spend the time having my coffee and crocheting a little bit or working on the computer if I'm up to it first thing in the morning, and then I can kind of do all that and so forth. But you know, I don't do well with having to get up and go. So yes, this is a bobble stitch Go Flow with it's called Bobble Stitch, and these patterns are done through somebody on ST called Gleerfully Crochet, and I cannot share them because the bottom is my design, but I cannot share the blue part. I can't show you all the pattern. I can direct you where to get it from, but I can't do any of that because it's not my work. And it's copyright protected. So she is amazing at it, but we have our first official pattern I have done for somebody, and we are going to be slowly showing you guys how to do these blankets, how to read the patterns, because they're going to become our own, how to read them, how to do them, and so forth. And even if you all do not crochet, I would highly recommend being in those chats no matter what we're doing. We're crocheting, we may be crafting, or so forth, because you still can come in, can be able to place your link, connect with people, support people, get to know people, all about that connect and grow. It's always about connecting and growing. And so that's kind of what we're doing, but we're going to sit down. Yeah, we're going to be doing that, but these blankets, this one and the lighthouse one do have somewhat of time. This one more than the other. So I need to finish these before I can do that. And the pattern that we have, I won't be specifically showing you all verbatim how to do that pattern, because you'll be able to purchase it for like $5 in a merch store. But I want to sit down and show you all how to read the pattern, how to do the pattern, how to be able to change over yarn with it and carry the yarn over, how to read it, how to put it together, all of those steps, because it can look overwhelming, but it's not, and show you how to do it. If you can do a single crochet and a bobble stitch, you can do this. It's not that difficult. Yes. 2 of my friends would. Yep. Well, that's what I'm saying. If people want to sit and come in and watch me to crochet and learn how to do it, that's great. But there's people that don't crochet, but they have an opportunity to come into this chat and connect and grow. And that's a wonderful opportunity to be able to do, and be able to connect with each other and collaborate with each other. And that also helps growing each other's as far as channels. So all of that makes a difference when you can do that. But I really didn't, and I've got a song to release for thanks for the quote a couple weeks ago, and I have some footage, and I'm waiting for Josh to give me something, because I took some on a camera of some beautiful fall leaves, but he hasn't given me that yet. I've got to release that. It's like, I think by tomorrow I'll kind of feel like I'm back to normal. I just don't feel like back to normal. Hi, Poetic Tears. How you doing? I got your email. There's just been a lot going on. I'm going to look at that today or tomorrow. Just had a lot going on. A lot. So I got to get with Echo. And I think sometimes, I thought I normally can put together like a little video, and get creative. And I just thought I didn't have any creativity the past couple of days, probably because I'm just tired. Like I said, there's been a lot going on, and I'm just tired. And that's okay. We're still raising funds for the shoe boxes. We have, I think, probably $24, which will pay at least the tracking for the shoe boxes. But we're still raising funds for the shoe boxes. Hi, Cruising for Life. Oh, you were already in here. I'm sorry. I'm not with it today, guys. I would 100% agree with that. We are still raising funds to fill the shoe boxes. We have them about halfway filled, and they are for Samaritan's Purse Registry. Samaritan's Purse. We have a wish list on our link tree, so we are still working to fill those. I'll put that if anybody's interested in looking at what's on there. I'm going to, either today or tomorrow, put a community post of what we have for the shoe boxes so far. But we're still trying to fill those, because those have got to get filled. And then, of course, it costs $10 a box. We would like to fill 4 boxes from the Blessed to Crochet community this year for Samaritan's Purse. We do that every year. Hope that every year we get to increase the boxes. Maybe a point where we don't increase the boxes that year, but want to increase them. I'd like to double them. Figured I had to do 2 boxes, and I looked at the ages. What we're going to do is we're going to do a box for 5 to 9, and then one from, I think, 10 to 14 for a boy, one of each, and then for a girl we'll do exactly the same thing too as well. I thought, well, maybe stay out here. It's nice. I'll stay out here for Jack's story time. I don't think I can. That's a 6. I'll have to go in the house for that one. There is no way I can. It's only going to get colder. You two must be holding yours subs. Yes. Nope, we're not there yet. Literally, it's just been playing, bouncing back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, come on. We're at 1957 is where we're. Hi, Brenda. We're 1957. That's where we are. You can also put hashtag blessed in the chat. If you like people to connect with your channel. So, yep. We'll get there. But I'm just like, there's no reason why we shouldn't be, honestly. But now I'm going to be blind as a bat for 2 seconds. Something on my glasses. So it's I just keep picturing myself on that horse going, I know I'll get there. We'll get there, and I know that. It's just, it's a goal we're trying to reach, that's for sure. And you all, just so you know, you may, I don't know if they watch it or not, but when you're in somebody's chat, you may want to say I left a package or delivered you something by FedEx or something. Just instead of saying that word, because I don't know if that is. I've heard, you hear so many things. You don't know what's real, what actually is the fact and what's not. I truly believe that. It's like you don't know whether or not it's fact or not. But I say a lot. I've connected with you, and in that way, that S word isn't in there. Yep, I just keep saying, okay, we'll get there. We're gonna party. When we were down at the Amish country, I bought a couple gifts for the giveaway, some towels and some little samples of stuff we'll put together. Of course, we'll do our soap caddies, and we'll do an Amazon gift card, and we're gonna celebrate. Believe me. Yeah. Oh, I always put, when I've connected with somebody new, I put new connections. So they realize that I'm a new connection that they've made. It's not something that, I'm not one of their people that have been in their comments before. So that when they go to respond to their comments, they go, oh, this is a new connection. Let me go check them out. So I always keep crocheting that connection. If it's blessings through connection, I let them know, this tagline, but then I always put new connection. I haven't connected with them before, and then that way they know I'm a new connection happening. Alive, I say done. Yep, absolutely. And it's all about making those connections and, coming together and helping each other and, so forth. It's all about doing that. But, wind. I looked at you and I thought that's what was going to happen. Frogging. Because I messed up. It's just yarn. Take it out, do it again. Like I said, guys, I am not here today. I'm someplace, but I don't know where. Just kind of in a la la land a little bit. But I feel so bad for the people in Jamaica. My heart certainly goes out to them. I've been through that. I've been through one. I've been through Wilma. I've been through Wilma, Andrew, Irma. So I know what they're going through with the storms. I was watching Ryan Hall because there was somebody filming from where he was sitting in Jamaica. They said he wasn't where the eye was, but literally, I mean, it was white out, and he had this camera and he was pointing at like a what is it? An electric pole, you know, and the pole wasn't moving. He said this pole must be made differently because he said usually poles will snap, electric poles, about 100 mile an hour to 120, he said. That pole was standing strong. But somebody in the live chat said, why did you go outside and squeegee the window? It's like, no. I wouldn't step outside in that. So we were in, it was Irma, and it was a Cat 5 coming. It was our last storm. And after Wilma, that was a bad storm. We got like the tornado part that came through. And my grandmother, who at that time was living, and she was Scottish, and she had been over in Scotland when the war was happening, so she didn't go into any shelter. And she said, I'm going to stay right here. I said, Nana, you can stay right here, but if the Cat 5 is coming through like it's supposed to, this house is not going to be standing by the time. It's going to have significant damage. And I thought, and I said, so we went to a special needs shelter. It was amazing because Josh had diabetes, Christina was a diabetic, my dad had Alzheimer's, and we all had things that were, several people that if anything happened, there was nurses there. Sure enough, Josh's sugar was tanking at one point. He was dropping a couple times, and they needed help him with extra food and all that kind of stuff. So, and it was the other day I got a phone call from Broward County, which is where we used to live, and said, we're calling because we're the special needs shelter. I said, we don't live in Florida anymore. I said, you all can remove us from the list. So he had to take down my name and my husband's name and my daughter's name and my mom and my grandmother and my dad that aren't here anymore. I said, y'all can remove us. We're not planning to come back to Florida, that's for sure. So that's the scoop on that. But my prayers go out to them for sure. But Wilma was a Cat 3, and we were not supposed to get the eye, and the eye came through Coral Springs, Florida, and literally we were good like halfway through the storm, but then the other half, there must have been a tornado that came through, because it came through, and my grandmother's pool, she had a screening. The whole screening just went all right into the pool. We weren't running into a bedroom. It was no basement, of course, in Florida. Into a bedroom, the whole pool screening. She didn't have any protection on the windows. All came crashing down. All came in there. We didn't know if the windows, it's sliding glass windows, all like on 3 places. We didn't know if the pool screening was going to come through. Went in the bedroom and got shelter. There was huge trees. They'd been there for years. And we have pictures of little Christina, she was probably, I think she was like 5, something like that. And we literally have pictures of her. She's this tiny, and the tree roots are like this big. She's standing by them. Unbelievable. Just ripped right out. and laid down like it was nothing. It was amazing to see, but I said to my grandma, you can stay. I'm not staying. You can stay. She came with us. But I was not. We were not staying for it. Sure enough, in the shelter, I mean, people's phones were going off. There was tornado sirens going off, and it did not, thankfully, come across as a Cat 5. It slowed down and changed direction, so we didn't get a Cat 5 coming through, thankfully. Drive home was unbelievable. We never lost electricity where we were living. But we didn't know. We were in the shelter for 4 days. Jordan, which was Christina's service dog, I had multiple people come up to me and say, because they allowed service animals to be in the shelter. And they had cots for everybody and everything. And they had people came up and said to me, we know who the real service dog is. Because there was a lady across from us, and this little dog, I don't know who needed the service dog, whether she needed the dog or whether the dog needed her. I hadn't been able to figure that one out. I didn't know who the emotional support dog, but I'm like, this is not a service dog. And Jordan was so well behaved and never hardly barked. I think he barked once, but it was because this other dog was barking at him. And we had to turn his crate around, and it was just unbelievable. Everybody came up and said, we know who the real service dog is. And I'm like, thank you. And that's what training does. And I'm working, there's a gentleman locally here. He has a Facebook page. And I'm trying to get on his podcast. He's got a good reach of audience too, to talk about my experience with, having, of course, been through the process of getting a service dog, training with a service dog, and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see. Trying to get see if he'll have me, and he's actually local here, to try to get on his podcast to see if we can talk about that. So he's got a very good reach. Was planning to sit out here for most of the time. Sit out here for a while, and I said to myself, well, I'm going to go on Big Jack's story time, and then I'm going to try to thank you. I'm going to work on the computer possibly. I just haven't had it the past couple of days. Just haven't. And I think that's okay. I think sometimes, as a YouTuber that has to put out content and help with content, I think sometimes you get a little bit kind of, just kind of burned out a little bit. And sometimes you just need to have a breather. And if your people know, hey, just need a little bit of a break, then that's understandable. And I really, really want to get done with this blanket, and for numerous reasons, because it's due, and No, I'm not being interviewed, but he was on one night, and I said to him in the chat, I said, I'd be glad to come on your show and talk about service animals. And he says, I think I'd like that. Because a lot of people don't know. First of all, they get them so confused about when you can, how, there's, what's the difference between an emotional service dog and, you shouldn't be petting them, you should be treating them like medical equipment, and how they work for autism, and what to kind of look out for people not being truthful with you about the training and all that kind of stuff. And the experiences that we had. I mean, my thing is, this is the way I feel when it comes to my thing is, this is how I feel when it comes to service dogs, especially autism. If you have an autistic child and they are not afraid of dogs, because some are. There are some children that are afraid of service animals or dogs. And so it's not for everyone. And if you have a child that can be difficult when they're melting down, you have to be very careful, because there are some, autistic children that, they go into a meltdown and they can really be physically harmful because they just don't know how to communicate properly. So you have to know your child. But I think they cross the thing, even if they have allergies, they have the poodles where you can have the poodles and not have an issue with the allergy part. I think if you have a child with autism, you should have a service animal, hands down. And I don't think there should be any cost to it. I think there should be assistance with food and vet care and all that kind of stuff, because it's such an undertaking. For instance, Josh needs a diabetic service dog. For those that are not sitting down, I would really suggest you sit down when I'm about ready to say this number. The cost of getting him a service animal is $20,000 to $25,000, and I'm not misspeaking here. Jordan was $15,000 back in 2013 or 2011. I am not misquoting when I'm saying that. I'm accurate. Now, there's a place near her, there's a place near here that we could obtain one in Cincinnati. They do require that you're in a certain distance to Cincinnati because of their credentials and what they have to do to be able to keep those credentials, but sometimes they waive them. Unfortunately, unfortunately, because we have Mocha, we would be required, and we tried this little step, required to be able to rehome Mocha. We tried that and we could not, because Mocha really had such a difficult run in life that we were going to have to find the specific person to be able to take care of her and be able to have her. She's one that would not do well with somebody working full time all the time, because she wants to be home with somebody. She has separation anxiety, she has stranger danger, all that kind of stuff, because of the abuse and what she's been through. It would be very specific person. It's not a dog for a first-time staffy owner. It's not a dog for somebody that possibly, doesn't have the time to invest with training. If they have young children, then it's somebody that needs to be there, be present, and get her acclimated to all of that. I think this lady that's been taking her for a run has been amazing for Mocha. It is stretching her in unbelievable ways, and it has just been a godsend. But with that being said, in order to be able to get it, where we'd only have to pay a certain little, I think it was like $100 application fee or something like that. Plus, not only that, we would have had to make multiple trips to Cincinnati for training and all that kind of stuff for a diabetic and PTSD dog for Josh. We would have to rehome Mocha, and I just was not willing to rehome that dog because I was so afraid for her that she was going to become this shelter revolving door. People wouldn't understand her. They put her in, she'd just be this back and forth revolving door, and I can't do this to this dog. I promised her that no harm would come to her. So if we get a service dog for Josh, it has to be a dog in which the trainer can work with Mocha and find the match that would work with matching Mocha with another dog. I think it could be possible to be able to do that with Mocha, but it will take some work to get there, and you would need a trainer that could get Josh with the right dog, but also get the right dog to live with Mocha. Not only that, we already have care that we're taking care of Mocha. She has some extra care. She has allergy pills she needs every day. In order to go to the vet, she has to be put, she has to have, be put asleep for that because she can't handle nail trims or anything to do with that care. She has to do for the safety of her and there, because she was not had any of that tolerated before anything. This is why socialization, taking them to the vet when they're a puppy, is so important. She didn't have any of that. She was abused. So we have to care with any dog I have ever had. We did it with Jordan. We did it with Abby. We have pet insurance with her. And so we have pet insurance with Mocha, and we just do the thing. You know what I mean? And so we have pet insurance, and we carry pet insurance, and we wouldn't have her without pet insurance. So that's $75 a month. So if we had another dog, we'd have to have pet insurance, and because of Mocha's things and extra she needs, and she goes to the vet more often, like we can't trim her nails. In order to trim her nails, she has to be put asleep for that. The running this lady's doing is helping tremendously, but still, we do higher deductible. It would have been less if we had done less deductible. We do a higher one because she has to go to the vet more often for stuff. So we'd have to get pet insurance. That's another, and like I did with Jordan, we had him on the best. He had the lowest deductible, the highest thing. That dog was taken care of so well. We tried to do the best food we possibly could for Jordan and take care of him the best we possibly could. That all takes money. And we have Mocha, and that's all we can do right now. We can't do anything else. It is one of the goals of this channel, guys, not only to grow it to the point where I can be able to get the reach out there for possibly getting Josh a dog, but also to be able to help fund that. Of course, all the funds and the revenue goes to my mama, but she said when we get to the point where we would have, she said I could be able to take care of the pet insurance for the second dog and so forth. And that's all down the road. And I'd like to be in the position where if I see a family needing a service dog, we as a community can help do that for them. Maybe we can't help them with the whole thing, but we can raise and do fundraisers. When you get to the point where you have 10,000 subscribers or more, you can do fundraisers. We could do fundraisers with other channels to help fundraisers for thank you Poetic Tears, fundraisers to be able to help other people get service dogs, because not only, and this is the question that I ask most autistic parents, and I will tell you 99% of the time the answer is no. I say to them, does your child sleep through the night? 99% of them say no. That's usually the response. I very seldom, rarity, have I had it where they have said yes, they sleep through the night. every solitary one of them say they struggle with sleeping at night. I know that Christina struggled tremendously with sleeping. We tried everything. Jordan was the key. Those with autism tend to need a warm body to sleep with. Jordan was the ticket. I was a ticket until Jordan finally came in the picture. Jordan also could let me know if Christina was getting overwhelmed. And he would go into duties and take care of that. He would move if she wanted to go for a walk, and she'd say, Mom, why isn't he moving? I said, you're overwhelmed. She'd sit down and do the decompression. He would do the decompression at least a couple times through the day, which, really helped with a lot of downs because, she was having that decompression therapy, that 100-pound black ball on her, really. So, all of those things. I did not have a problem with my child eloping, which means, I don't think that's the right word, with getting away. But there are children that will do that. And I did have that Christina was young. It happened once in the store. It was so frightening. I'm telling you, if you have autistic issues for children, don't be ashamed to have it. If that's what keeps your child safe, I think, hands down, whether they're autistic or not in today's world. People look at you, let them look at you. I wish I'd had one of them, and I didn't, to really hold on to her, but they can tether the child to the dog, so if you're out in the stores, the dog, the child is not going to go anyplace. Those are all things a service dog helps. And I can tell you, it's a calming sensation. We were able to go into Publix, we were able to go into Walmart, we were able to go into places and on trips and family vacations in ways we weren't able to do before Jordan came in. And I just can't thank, to me that was a godsend. And so I really want to be able to do things like that with this channel because I was that autistic mother. It's a very, very hard road to go down. It can be a very lonely road to go down. And so hopefully I can get on the podcast, on his channel. I did email him and see if I can talk about it because, and two, when Jordan passed away or before he passed away, we knew he was not long for this world. He was having issues. And we got in with another company that not only stole our money, but stole the other people's money. And then we lost the $2,000 we were raising for Josh and Christina. Hi, Get Together Wellness. How you doing? Thank you very much for stopping on in. I appreciate it. And they stole our $2,000 that we raised, plus they stole $25,000 they took from other people that had raised their funds. And I had researched the company and found out that they were really good, and thank you. And apparently they weren't. They were siphoning money, and it absolutely made me so mad to have to do that. Money, we worked hard for it. So I want to get the word out. I have a very big passion for service dogs, and I had to really, in my time having Jordan, when I went out in public, I had to remember, Mary, you are an educator. And I was an educator to a point until people push the limits. And I mean that in saying this. If little kids came up and said, we're running towards Jordan, I'd put my hand up and say, he's working, you cannot pet him. I was an educator, and I was nice. I was nice no matter what, but at times I needed to be a little stern. I'd have people, because we would take Jordan to maybe, if we were going to pick up Christina, he didn't go to school with her. We would stop off at the store and maybe get something, and I'd take him with me to go inside and do some training, which was ongoing with him. And so anyway, I think I got this like totally mixed up because I'm talking and not realizing everything. And so anyway, and I mean, people would get so upset when it would say, okay, well, thank you for stopping on in. People would get so upset because his vest said ask to pet. And so they would sit there and say, well, we can't, can I pet him? And I'd say no. And they would get so upset. And I would say to them, it's my daughter's dog. He's in training. We're going to pick her up at school in a minute. And I would say, we had a rule. This was Christina's dog. This was her rule. If we were not there, if he was with us doing some training, because we were his handlers because she was too young, right? Okay, she took a while to learn to take control of that. And there's a certain age limit where they say the child can be a handler. And so if we were handling the dog and we had it, and I'd say, listen, my daughter's not here, we're going to pick her up at school, we're doing some training, and we have a rule that if she's not with us, that he can't be petted. And or if Christina was overwhelmed in the store and somebody asked to pet Jordan, right? And I'm telling you, people get so upset if she said, no, Mom, I can't handle it. They go, I'm like, excuse me? This is her dog, her thing. If she's too overwhelmed for you to pet him right now, then deal with it. They get so huffy. And I say, well, it's her dog. She gets to make the rules. She's not up to you petting. I'm sorry she's overwhelmed. I mean, I was nice to her. There was one time I knew I was snippy because we had just come from, my grandmother passed away on the 19th. So we had gone down, the place that she was being laid to rest was not close, about an hour away. It was down Davie, which was an hour from us. So we went down there and then we stopped off to eat. And this little boy ran by Jordan, never said one word, didn't ask to pet the dog, didn't ask anything. This mother sat there and she said, oh, look at the puppy. And if I had been not so emotional and we weren't dealing with so much, I probably would have done it a little bit nicer than I did it. I said, you know what, ma'am? You see your son? You needed to do exactly what your son just did and not say a word. And she said, well, he didn't say a word. I said, no, but you did. And that's exactly the way you should be acting when you see a service dog. I mean, I was just oh, goodness. Just doing crazy. Oh, that's okay. You're no worries, hon. I appreciate everybody for being here. I tremendously do. I'm going to drop Gail's channel too. Remember, she's doing the Fall Fest. Even if you weren't a semi-finalist, there are door prizes going to be given out. I'll never forget that. I was like, she goes, well, he didn't say anything. I said, no, but you did. You were telling him to go look at the doggy. This is not a doggy. This is a working dog, and he needs to know that this is a working dog. But then when we would be in stores and there was parents, taking a moment, or nieces or nephews or grandchildren or whatever it is, and I sit there and I say, oh, well, they sit there and say, they take a moment and explain, this is a service dog. We don't go up to the service dog when they're working. You see the vest. I would say, okay. And sure enough, I go over to the person, I say, oh, thank you so much for doing that. Because they were taking the time to teach the child, or exactly what they should be looking for and what they should be doing. So, took a moment. Pay attention to time, y'all, because I'm going to be on big chat story time. But I thought, better come out here today because it's going to rain the next few days. Oh, 5 o'clock. We're good. We so good. So anyway, so I haven't answered any much emails between just Saturday and then Sunday and Monday. I've been toast. And then tomorrow I'm going to go to, we have an appointment because we're seeing if we're staying with our insurance or changing it. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to stop off by Kingwood Center and find out if what time. I think the first Monday in November is you get to get in Kingwood Center for free. And I want to see what my reception is going to be like there. And then I'll get with the source and find out if he wants to try to do it on Monday. Oh, thank you. So, but of tears, I've got to email you back. Oh, so it's just been crazy. Like I said, between we got the food for the family and for us on Saturday, and then we had the church on Sunday, and then we went to my son-in-law's family member that passed on Monday. It's been a lot going on. Hi, Mandy. Thank you. Yes, it has been. I'm tuckered, but it's been a good weekend. It's and yet it's been it was sad. My heart went out to my son-in-law's family, of course, dealing with the loss of their loved one. But I was very glad that I could be there and my mom could be there. Josh didn't go. He's had a little bit of a cough left over, and he just thought, I don't want to cough during the service, so he didn't go. But thank you for stopping in, Mandy. Make sure you all hit that connection button, or we know what the connection button is. It starts with the yes button. Make sure you're still connected to Blessed to Crochet, and then make sure, too, we're going to start back shortly here with Blessings Through Connection. And we're trying to get caught up, guys. I finally said to myself, guess what? I'm doing the best I can. And I know, like yesterday, yesterday the recaps usually come out on Monday. But guys, if I go to sleep at 10 o'clock and I sleep the way I did last night, I was exhausted. I was asleep by 11 o'clock, I think. I sat down at 10. I thought, I don't even want to move. I just was really tired. I just lay there kind of just exhausted. And if I sleep at 10 o'clock and then I'm going to, if I go to sleep at 10, I'm asleep by 11 and I sleep pretty much through the night till 9. I must be tuckered. Because it takes a toll. Fibromyalgia does take a little bit of a toll out of you. And I really only have about, and I thought to myself today, if I don't get this blanket, I've got several blankets going on, guys. I do. I do. This is how far we've come. Okay. It's going to say, I'll always love you with an owl on it. This part here is a pattern that I cannot show because it's made by somebody else. That bottom part was my creation because they wanted the date of the first, the little baby. The date. So I'm working for a friend at our church that wanted a blanket done. So I had to stop the lighthouse and start this one and everything. I think what I'm going to do before it gets too cold out is I'm going to try next couple days here to get a little bit of a pattern together, even if it's just hearts. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just to show you all how to start reading a Bible stitch pattern. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated. But for those that want to know how to do this, I think it would be easier to do it outside, maybe, to start showing you how you're going to read the pattern. And then my thing is I've got our first pattern done, but I have to figure out how to write it and how to make it so it's printable for people. And I really need to do the first pattern. Here's my problem. And I am willing to, of course, with the pattern, anybody that would like to do it, because here's going to be my issue. This is going to be my issue. It would be nice to give everybody the size of what the pattern is. Okay? The patterns that I have gotten from her, none of them have been the size that she's doing with the crochet hook she's using. Mine's are always bigger. I'm using the same kind of yarn. I use Hobby Lobby, so a lot of them are Red Heart. I can't stand Red Heart. So a lot of them are Red Heart yarn, but Red Heart is a there's a fly taking refuge on the camera. On the thing. I hope it doesn't mess up my thing. Don't start touching the wrong thing there. Red Heart is not a yarn that I like. I don't like Red Heart, but it's a weight 4 yarn. There it goes off. So I don't want to touch that one, or not that one. It's not that the yarn's different. Yarn's exactly the same. Let's turn that on before I get done. So the Red Heart's the same, but like this, I'm using a size 4.5 hook. I tend to crochet loosely, which means that if she said to use a 5.5 on this blanket, or a 5, I need to go down a little bit or it's going to be ginormous. And so I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to find some people that can test it so I can have a more accurate measurement of the exact measurements that the blanket would be. Because if I do it, they just tend to be bigger. I don't know what it is. I just think I crochet loosely. And so I have to figure that out. I can't, it would have to be somebody that would want to just do the pattern, get the pattern for free. They would only be able to use it for private, and then I couldn't pay them to test it, but somebody is willing to do it. I don't know if I can get a totally accurate measurement because I tend to crochet on the looser side for some reason. I don't know. Do not know how I'm going to Oh, I don't like red heart. Can't stand it. It's too rough. It hurts me. Probably, and it may be because of the fibromyalgia. I just think it's very harsh. And there's a lot of people that love red heart, and I have some red heart that I have used in my life that were okay, but most of the red heart yarns, nope. I have no desire for them. I have a real problem with them. They're too rough for me. Actually, with Jeanette, I had a couple red hearts people had given me, and I gave them to her because I thought, I'm not going to use these. They're great for, like, if you're doing the things for the, what is it? Those rings for the oven, because they don't stretch. Red heart's great for that. But I'm just not a red heart person at all. And we don't have, I find Michael's to be very expensive, and Michael's is an hour away. Joann's is no distance anymore, so I eventually want to get my yarn from Ice Yarns. It's down the road. It's down the road, so we're probably going to finish this row, and then I'm going to go inside and get warmed up, and I will be on Big Jack story time. Let me see, Sandy, can you go to the live that I have scheduled with Jack and share that so people can be aware of what's going to happen tonight? Should be on my lives. Well, I can do it. 5, 6, 7. Should be on. It'll give me a little bit of a break between the two of them. Get warmed up after being out here with the wind. So I'll probably be doing it from my bedroom with green screen on myself today. I was thinking, I thought, oh, I'll be able to, I could just stay out here. No way. Only gonna get colder. So, unless something comes up, we may go to the Mount G's tomorrow. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. But it is supposed to be yucky tomorrow and Thursday. Oops, that's off. That's off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's really off. We'll see. We'll see what we're gonna do. It's supposed to be yucky. But look out for Monday if I can get with the source and find out if that would work for him. And I'm going to test my reception. So I may go live from Kingwood Center tomorrow. We'll see. Just to see what the reception will be like. If I always go live, I can always make it unlisted too. So we may do something like that just to make sure that I'm going to have a good reception. And we'll go on Monday, because if it's free to get in, it would be nice. My hands are freezing. Part of the reason why I'm crocheting so slowly, because they are cold. If it was like this, but then it wasn't cold, it wouldn't be a problem. But the fact that it's cold, that's a problem. And I will be on Big Jack Storytime too. It'll be on Big Jack Storytime. When is it? I think next week. On Ladies Diaries, so I'll be on that too. That's the live for later. And then let me get Big Jack Storytime so you guys can get over to his channel if you need to. He's a great guy. Are not connected with him. I should put him in one of these times. Okay, so then this is Big Jack Storytime. That's that. And here's another channel. And then here is 2 channels I would say absolutely get in. Get yourself involved with. Foodie. I haven't been in foodies. I needed some time this morning. I think sometimes it's good to kind of have a morning where finishing up, I can't think of what it is, Northern Exposure, and I just kind of in a la la land kind of thing. I did not. I thought, oh, it's only in the 50s. It's not cold. I didn't count for wind. Yeah. Oh, I know. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. Absolutely so pretty. You know, but I think I'm probably going to try to do a live about kind of expectations. I think sometimes put on expectations of ourselves and we get discouraged when we can't do that. You know, another thing I was kind of thinking about, I don't know if I'm going to do it yet, is I'm so far behind on the devotions, and I wasn't not supposed to be this far behind, and I was going to be taking this month to get caught up, and I was doing pretty good until the computer decided to take a dive. And I don't know whether or not I just say, let the devotions do. I've got devotions through until like June or something. Get done with the devotions as far as you have them, and then just take a break and start them. I don't know, like next year. I don't know. One of my thought patterns to say it'd be better to just, I mean, I've been doing the Bible verses, but I need to sit and, do them. And of course, I just haven't had the computer issue's been an issue. I didn't want to ask my son-in-law. That's kind of why the computer is taking a little bit longer, because he's dealing with the loss in his family, and I didn't want to ask him to. I didn't realize I was hiding the fountain, guys. I'm sorry. You can see the sun. Right. I didn't want to ask him to do anything. I couldn't ask him to do anything, so I did ask him. I think it was Sunday. I said, when you get a chance, can you please get me, it needs Windows 11 is what it needs. It needs Windows 11 so that we can put that in, redo the system. So he's going to get it. He's going to get it for us so we can do that. And once we do that, it'll make the thing entirely done. And I'm determined to go back to StreamYard next year. I'm almost nervous to download Streamlabs again after what it did to my computer. Because the last thing that was downloaded was Streamlabs. And if it's the thing that did it to the computer, I'm not happy with them. I don't know. We'll see. It's pretty, for sure. After I get this row done, I'm going to go inside and get warmed up a little bit. Figure out how I'm going to set this up for... I'm not going to use my Chromebook. I think I'd be better off using my phone. Because my Chromebook never handled StreamYard from the start very well anyway, so... The sun's going down and it's getting colder. It's beautiful, but it's getting... Look at that. Isn't that a shot? Look at that. Right there. Right back there. Look at that. That's stunning. Right there, guys. Oh. Can you believe how thinned out that's gotten just in a little bit? Just in a little bit. Just in a little bit how thinned out. Look at that over there with a beautiful... And I've got a rainy day drive down to the Amish country. Fall leaves. I thought I'll just probably put that up in sections and say a rainy day drive you guys can enjoy. Put some kind of Suno music with it. And if you guys are coming across our shorts and it says, and there's no music, there's been... So glad I'm starting to do Suno music because several of the shorts, and this is one thing that if YouTube's listening, can you tell us? It's told me a couple times in emails. I've gotten 3 or 4 of them, and it says, your short's going to be deleted. Hi, Fairbrooks, your short's going to be deleted. Okay, let's understand this. The short's going to be deleted. Okay? And on a short, you can't go back and add additional music. So you can't go back and say, okay, I'm going to add music. You can do it on a video, but you can't do it in a short. So either you have to put it up as is, or you have to do the whole thing and you know, decide you don't want to have the music. So it puts it as unlisted. But it sends you an email telling you that one of your things have gotten unlisted, but it doesn't tell you which one. It is so frustrating. It says, well, this person who uploaded the music has opted out of you being able to use it on a short. I'm like, okay. But can you please at least... a little bit frustrating. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm really kind of glad we've started using our own music for shorts now. I mean, sometimes I use what's in the studio, but a lot of times I make my own one. Oh, I made a killer one, guys. I just have to put it together for Elvis. I've got to do that one. I've got one for my, what is it? I can't think, my fibromyalgia warriors out there. But I've got one for Elvis, and Elvis used to say, when he, and I've got to get the thing off of it too. It's why I never do it. Elvis used to say, when people in the audience gave him the title, the King of Rock and Roll, he said, I'm not the king. I cannot take the title of the king because it's just beyond what there's only one king, and that's Jesus. And so I did a song along the lines of, you know, he came from Tupelo and he was humble, but he always used to say, you know, so only one king, and that's not me. I cannot take that title. So I wrote a song on that, and just be lifting up everybody too. That, there's some people that, of course, I'm not going to get in kind of political stuff here, but I think we certainly need to be looking at the food assistance program and look how that's being utilized. But there's going to be people coming around in November that have the benefit of having that. It helps them, it helps their families, and they're not going to have it. And so we need to certainly be lifting that up in prayer. And Josh and I are both disabled, and we have some benefits with that, and be lifting it up, everybody up, because there's going to be people that are affected by that not being available in November until everything kind of gets their act together, and hopefully that'll happen before there's an issue. So be lifting up the people that are in a situation where they're having to use it. Single moms, I've been there. They're disabled. Josh is on a walker. I have my days where I'm on a walker. I can't do much because the pain's just too bad, or I get a migraine out of nowhere, or whatever it is. So you guys help me, I think, more than you realize. You guys help me so much, and I'm so grateful for it. I feel like I'm doing something. I'm doing something for Mama. I'm doing something for you guys. I'm providing a space for you all, and it means the world to me, and I want you to know that. And this is a legacy too, for, down the road. Where we have family recipes here for Christina to be able to see and be able to go, oh yeah, how did Mom make this? Well, it's on the channel. I can do that recipe. So, anyway, it becomes a legacy in the future. Oops, I think I made a mistake, guys. I was talking. I just realized I made a mistake, actually. I didn't on this side, but I forgot it on that side. I'll have to take it out. Oh boy. See, I forgot to I missed a bobble right there. I was talking. No. Yeah, I did. I totally missed a bobble there. I got it on the one side. I have to take that all out. I'm not taking that all out and then doing it. It's not happening. So, and another thing too, just so people know, on November, let me think about it in a second now. So this is where we are. I know it's upside down. This is where we are. November 3rd, I will not, and I forgot what day that is. No, what day is November 3rd? Let's see. New Year's Eve. Oh my Lord, New Year's Eve, Mary. Halloween is, my fans are freezing. Halloween is the 31st. Monday is the 3rd, right, guys? Monday the 3rd. I will not be on. I do not know next week. If not, it'll give me a good chance to get caught up for a couple days. I do not know when I will be able to come back on. It may be for a couple days, or I may have to do one where I just have no, I'm talking, but there's, I'm just kind of one of those little, the picture or so forth. I have, it's right here in the back of here, and I've had it for years, and I tried to ask my doctor way back ago if he would remove it. He said, oh, don't, just leave it, it'll be fine until it bothers you. Well, I'm I'm going to go ahead and have it taken care of. They'll have to give me lidocaine shots. Boy, they're going to have to take it off. It's not any cancerous thing. It's not any skin cancer or anything like that. But they have to remove it. Unfortunately, it sits right where the things us women all hate, and the first thing we take off when we come in the door, off it goes. It's sitting like right there, and it grows a little bit every so often, and it's just a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. So it's best that it gets removed before it gets too big. And it's kind of in a spot that it's going to become annoying, where it has to sit. So because of that, there's something I won't be able to wear for a couple of days. I don't know if they're going to have to put a stitch in it because of how big it is. They may have to put a little stitch. I don't know. So it may prevent me from being able to come live. I'm going to be sore, I know that. And I'm going to be tired. I'm a little nervous. It's not even major, but I just am. So I will not be on Monday. I'm probably going to be up throughout the night on Sunday or have difficulty sleeping. I'm going to come home from the procedure. Ooh, guys. Come home from the procedure and just go to bed and take it easy. So anyway, that's the scoop for, see, I crochet big. That's the scoop for Monday. And I don't know if it will be Tuesday or Wednesday. If it's past Wednesday, then I'll probably come on, but I may not have any, maybe totally just picture, or I'll come on and I'll let you all see, depending on what temperature is and the weather or something like that, I'll let you see the back of here, and I'll be on the other side. But we'll see where I am. But that's scheduled, and I know if I push it back, I'm never going to do it. So I just say to myself, you can do this, you can do this. But be thinking of me certainly on Monday, and be praying for me, but I will not be on Monday for sure next week. And it'll probably be a couple days before I come back on, but I'll load content. If nothing else, I'm going to be using that time to be getting caught up tremendously, and I'm using the time. And tomorrow again, there's rain. It's supposed to be raining a lot tomorrow, so I may take the next 2 days off and just really prowl through. And not that I'll be totally caught up with anything, but I'd like to get a little further. I'm going to get ahead in Bible verses, quotes, songs up that need to get the songs up for the quotes before we get too far down, and we're now in Christmas and quote songs aren't out yet. So, and so forth. And then remember that on the Monday, which will actually be Monday, November the 1st, all the songs for all of the Bible verses come out. You have that whole collection. I put them in one big video, and I put that out. So hopefully I can successfully get that downloaded and put up, but that'll be coming out Monday too as well. And so anyway, and one thing I really have liked lately is that I can put up Bible verses and shorts and stuff using our own music. I can put that up ahead of time so you guys can enjoy it, but so that you guys can enjoy it, and this way be able to enjoy it and put it to members first so they can enjoy it. But you can't do that with shorts that are not your own creation. So anyway, with that being said, I'm going to be on again, Big Jack Story Time, in half an hour, or at 7 o'clock, but I have to be in backstage in about an hour. So I'm going to go in, get myself warmed up a little bit. Cold, look at that guy. Gorgeous. Oh. This is beautiful. That is just absolutely stunning. I'm going to take a picture of it before we go back in. See if I can use it for the backdrop for my backdrop tonight. That'd be really pretty, wouldn't it? So anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Have a blessed day. Again, we'll just see. I may see y'all tomorrow. I may not. We'll just see. We'll see where I am. But But thank you for your understanding. I really wanted to respect my son-in-law and his family and really not go into detail, but there's just been a lot going on, y'all. But anyway, I'll talk to you all later. Remember to be proud of being yourself. Everyone else is taken. Keep crocheting that connection. No crochet hook is required. We got you covered. Thank you so much for having us covered, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye, everybody. Talk to y'all later. See ya in about an hour and a half on Big Jack Storytime. Bye, everybody.